All right, I'm gonna try to make this a really short and sweet video, but basically I'm gonna be swapping this Gen 3 LM7 5.3 liter. It's out of a 2005 Silverado. I just took the heads off. I'm gonna be swapping this into my Pontiac G8. It's a V6 right now. I only know of one guy who did this, at least on YouTube. His name is Chris Andrews. He's got a lot of really good videos, just kind of going through the whole process. But I did just want to make a video kind of just explaining how I'm going to be doing it, what my steps are, kind of what my time frame is going to be, what I think a realistic budget's going to be looking like. This is my G8 right here. I've owned it for a little bit over a year. I absolutely love the car, but it's a V6. I bought it for 4,000 bucks. I'll put a picture in right now of what it looked like before. I'm going to be swapping the V8 in here. But yeah, here's our V6 right now. And that motor over there is gonna go in here. So, and I have no idea what the mileage is on this engine, by the way. But when I took off this head right here, I took the valve cover off. There was no valve cover on this when I bought it. It was kind of just sitting, so it was super dirty. But this one looks really clean. You know, it looks like they change the oil pretty frequently, but it did have a head gasket leak. You know, you can see old coolant material on like this side of the piston wall. And whatnot, but yeah, I really just want to make this video to kind of go over what it's going to take to put this motor in the G8, especially because it's a Gen 3. The big difference between the Gen 3 and the Gen 4 that really would kind of make the difference on swapping to the G8 is going to be the reluctor wheel. So what the reluctor wheel does, it's pretty much it's a wheel that's on the crankshaft. It's got a certain amount of teeth on there, and there is a crankshaft position sensor. I'll show it to you really quick. Here's the crankshaft positioning sensor right there. And that wheel on there, this one has 24 teeth in it. The Gen 3 iron block has 24 teeth in it. I think that changed in 2007, I want to say. But anyways, to put it in the car, I need a 58 tooth reluctor wheel. So pretty much the go around for that is to take the crankshaft out and swap a 58 tooth reluctor wheel on. So I ordered one. It'll be here this week. And then I'm gonna tear the motor down, or finish tearing it down, take it to a machine shop. I'm gonna have them clean the block up a lot, you know, hot tank it. And then I'll also have them swap the 58 tooth reluctor wheel on the crankshaft. Then yeah, I'm gonna throw it back together with a cam. Don't really know what cam I wanna run yet. I'm debating between a couple, but I'm leaning towards the BTR Stage 2 truck cam. I'm also gonna go with an intake manifold, a performance one, not just the stock truck one. But yeah, to really make this swap happen, for the V6 at least, what you're gonna need is pretty much this motor, and then a lot of things from the G8 GT. That's gonna include the E38 ECM, and then you're also going to need a 6L80 transmission, which is, you know, straight out of a lot of trucks, as well as the G8 GT. So I'm gonna get one of those for a two-wheel drive, obviously. You're also going to need the G8 GT engine harness that also doubles as the transmission harness. You're also going to need the G8 GT motor mounts, and you're going to need a new drive shaft, obviously, for changing up the transmission. So I'll just get a G8 GT drive shaft from a junkyard or something. But yeah, engine, transmission, wiring harness, motor mounts, drive shaft. Trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. ECM. The fuse box is the same. You can reuse the same V6 radiator. You can keep the V6 fuel pump, it's the same, I believe. But that is what makes this swap relatively easy, is the fact that a lot of the G8 GT parts, the 6 liter out of the GT is pretty much interchangeable, really interchangeable with this 5.3. Like, I know a lot of GT guys, if their 6 liter breaks down and they have one of these laying around, they'll just throw it in there until they can rebuild the 6 liter. But there is going to be a lot of headache. There is going to be a lot of things I'll come across that I'll cover in future videos. But really the first step for now is to just build the motor. So, but yeah, I bought the motor for $400. I'm expecting to spend around $300 at the machine shop to just get all that work done. Transmission's probably going to be around $1,000. I'm hoping to find a used 6L80E for around $1,000. And then it's just going to be all the little stuff that's going to add up as far as fuel injectors, spark plug wires, spark plugs, intake manifold, cold air intake, even a stock GT intake would be fine, but you might as well, if you're going to spend the money on that, you might as well just get a cold air intake, redo all the gaskets, everything like that. It'll be a freshly built LM7 that's going in. Hoping to make around 450 to 500 horsepower, 450 at least, with the intake and the cam. I think that's pretty doable. I'll be getting it tuned by a local guy here in Nashville, Hendersonville, actually. March right now. I'm hoping to have it done by the summertime, at least like by July. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. There are a few things like on the 5.3, the fuel lines, or at least on the G8 GT, the fuel lines come out over here. On the V6, they come out here. So we are just going to have to rerun the fuel lines, which that part's fine. And then things just such as the alternator, air compressor, and that whole sort of thing. But yeah, we're just gonna have to figure a lot of these things out as we kind of go along. But yeah, this might be the first LM7 or V6 to LM7 swap for the G8 that I've seen. Hopefully we have it done by the summertime, but we'll see. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll try to kind of keep you guys updated. Next video will probably be back when it gets back from the machine shop or just when I'm sending it back out. Feel free to comment any questions that you might have. Yeah.